Aloha everybody. How's everybody doing today on this beautiful Friday afternoon? We tried to do it live earlier, but the service was bad. So we are hooked up to the Wi-Fi, and hopefully it'll be a better service. So hello everybody, how's it going? Cousin Michael, aloha. So today we are at the hub. And the hub is open until 8 o'clock, so if anybody needs anything, come on by. We have a bunch of stuff still here for the people who is in the evacuated areas. And if you guys need, come to the hub. And this is, so the hub is open until 8. Come check us out. Other than that, we are with Philip.
How's it, everybody?
And we'll be doing a short live on the updates, the recent updates that is happening. One, for my side, the ocean entry is still active. This morning there was 5 entry points, still draining of the systems, because of its gravity feed, and the ocean is the lowest part of the system right now. There's still lava entering, draining out of the system, and there's still fluctuations at the summit of Kīlauea. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park opened up today for media. So we're going to see a lot of pictures of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Fissure 8, last that I heard, was it yesterday? Blue Skies flew yesterday, or this morning? Yesterday. Yesterday they flew this morning, Bruce Omori and Mick Calver with Paradise Helicopters, and they said they've seen one dot of lava in Fissure 8. So when they got there, there was nothing in there. Then all of a sudden there was a dot and a little spatter. Then that went away again. Then a dot again reappeared. So there's still lava in the system at Fissure 8, but is slowly draining. And so with that, the ocean entry is slowly diminishing every day. So, but it's still very much active because there's a lot of lava in the braided channel. So still anything up.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that the fact that the USGS dropped their alert today from warning to watch, you know, probably means that they saw something changing in 8 enough, or maybe the lava, the magma is still right below the surface, but it's actually right below the surface instead of right at the surface.
Right.
And so that's why they decided to make the call, basically. So I think now that we can call it a pause, and that the pause has started for them, kind of thing. So the potential is still right there because it just takes like one little push, and that's right below the surface, and get pushed right out of there.
Right.
But it is below the surface now, even if it is kind of spattering up a little bit. It's kind of crossed some magical line that they've decided. Yeah.
But we are not out of the woods yet.
No, we still gotta watch and wait. Yeah. So I mean, it's the best thing you can hope for is that it keeps going down and down and down. It's doing it slowly.
Right.
That it's not down far enough yet. That it's far enough away that we're not worried. So there's still that.
So we, as far as civil defense and the updates, eruption updates, they have stopped. The last eruption update was today. They have stopped giving updates, but just to let everybody know, we here, myself, Philip, John, and the Hawaii Tracker Group, we will be still giving everybody updates every day. Try to keep everybody, if you guys want to tune in to our lives and our posts, will be keeping you guys informed of anything happening in our community, even though the civil defense has stopped their daily updates. So we made it a promise that we will be doing it at least once a day for the people of Puna.
Yeah, unless I fall asleep.
Yes, or me too, because we've been tired. But anyway,
yeah, sometimes it happens. But we'll try. We're still trying every day, and if something happens more, we'll do more than one a day. Yeah, just like we always done. Yeah, so you guys can still keep counting on us.
Yes. So, any changes at the summit today?
Not much. The tilt line is moving a little bit. I'll show you guys right here. The tilt line. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, look at that one right there, right? So kind of still kind of overall deflation, you know, some little wiggles in there, but the whole scale of the thing, it's still like less than 2 microradians. So basically, you know, when you zoom out, it's still basically flat, and you know, nothing convincing of that. So I you know, talked a little earlier in my update. I think this is probably all kind of gas-driven kind of the kind. So it's nothing convincing of actually magma moving yet. Maybe it could be, but like it's not convincing. And if it is, it's not very big, and it's not really worth overanalyzing because you know the wiggles are kind of so small. So that, you know, is similar as what we've been seeing. Not a whole lot of change there. Really, not that much earthquakes. Not that much anything else.
Yeah.
Really.
So it has been quiet in the East Rift Zone and also at the summit. So
the big changes that we're seeing are what people have been talking about already. We're seeing like a lot of gas coming out. The cracks where the gas is coming out hotter and more of it. Right, there's more pathway for the gas to get out of there, and the gas is kind of acting like old style, like radiator, like moving. You know, it's actually carrying the heat from lower and up and out, like through the, you know, actually heating the water and. Yeah, that's what's carrying the heat out of there. Is, you know, so that's why the gas is getting hotter. There's a path for it to come out and bring the heat of the magma out, so it's going to stay hot and degassing for a long time. We could still have more settling of the ground, you know, more cracks, the ground moving, cracks opening potentially, and at some point you might start forming some craters over some of the areas that had magma pooled underground. So the most likely place might be Fissure 8. But it could be other places like Makapui, Pu'o can keep collapsing further on, and some of the other fissures also might have some collapses also. It's hard to say exactly.
Right.
But, you know, like ones like Fissure 22 was going for a long time, right? You know, and I think 17 is probably good because it's already gone and stopped for a while now. But like some of the other ones, like 16, 18, maybe didn't put out as much lava, but, you know, 8's the most likely one, but that's another thing that we're still expecting, you know, so it's going to be, I'm sure, shocking if we see that, but not surprising, right? Just so everyone knows, you know, the crack's still moving and the gas still coming out, it is hot, it doesn't mean that anything different is happening, it's the same kind of pattern that we're seeing, that's kind of what we expected from the beginning. I know it's still alarming to see more heat, more gas coming out, especially if your house is right there, it's just super alarming. But that's what we expect, and doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean your house is safe. It just means that that's part of the process of the thing cooling down and draining out as a kind of settling out, and, you know, allowing more heat to come out, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and also the reason why there's a lot of gases is because there's a lot of empty space in the dike system or the the tube system. So, you know, there's
and all the cracks.
Yeah, all the cracks. So that's why there's a lot of gases coming out, because there's a lot of space in there. Just had a question: is the government will be opening up Leilani Estates? We don't know. You know, we're hoping that they'll open it up, but we're not too sure when they'll open up. But you know, there's a lot of people that want to go back home in the mandatory evacuation area, and the question is when. Could be 1 month, could be 2 months, could be a year, because the eruption is not done yet, because there is a grace period where there could be an eruption, reactivation of Fissure 8 or any other fissures down there. Yeah, so for sure, yeah, I mean, I think it is important that we had that milestone of switching from warning to watch today, so I think, actually, yes, just to say, not that it's over, but it's officially paused now. Yeah.
And, you know, they've said before that more or less a month might be a good guideline of time of how long they want to wait before they declare it actually dead, right? Like I'm talking about, it's kind of like a coroner or something like that. You got to wait long enough to make sure it's actually dead. No more breaths, like, you know, not going to sit back up kind of thing. So that's kind of where we are. Like, so, you know, all signs look like it's dead. The USGS is calling it an official pause now. You know, it could actually be the end, but you won't know it's until the end, until nothing happens for another month. Right? And so that we have no idea how the government's going to react. But to me, the fact that they actually dropped from warning to watch is what the first step of like a whole domino effect of, you know, the county probably couldn't do anything until that, right? So like now that you might say, okay, well, now there's not actually a warning, it's not officially erupting anymore, according to USGS, can you justify the evacuation zone? So like that's the next step. So we had the first domino, we're gonna wait to see what the county is gonna come up with, what they're gonna announce, if anything, and we'll have to wait and see how that actually goes. You know, we have heard a lot of ideas, you know, about like land swap. People are afraid of their property getting claimed. You know, I don't think that's we're all have different opinions about that because there's no one really knows. There's no transparency. But, you know, I personally really doubt that you could claim a land that has a house still standing on it because, you know, you can fight that pretty strongly, I believe.
Right.
Land that's all covered in lava may be slightly different. You know, that probably depends more on the landowner, but that's a different issue, right? You know, so I know you guys are all worried, and I understand why you don't trust the process because you can't see the process. I personally am a little more optimistic that that's not going to go down that way because that would be, really dramatic, bad PR kind of thing for the county. So we'll see how that goes. There's better ways to do it. And nothing happens fast, no matter what. So I think there'll be time to kind of talk it out. And I think one thing that came up is that there's no way that the mayor can do like a land swap thing like by himself. It takes like some county council approval, right? Which means they have to have like a comment session and actually all vote on it. So when it comes to that, we'll have plenty of chance to have our minds, or have our voices heard and speak our minds. So, I can't tell you guys not to worry because we just don't know what's going to happen, but I can say that the process should allow some point where if that's not what you want, you can put up a block fairly easily at some point. So, that's kind of the attitude that I would promote, to kind of, you can be defensive about it for sure. But, don't be assuming it's going to happen because I don't think it's going to happen quite like that.
Yeah, here's the thing, so from the Kalapana days, when lava came and covered the Kalapana residents in Kapa'ahu, Kupahua, Kalapana, Kaimu, there were talks back in the 90s, 80s and 90s, talks about, not land swap, but leasing land for the people that was affected by the lava and the lava flows. And it went through, and it took them 10 years later, over 10 plus years later, to get this lease out. So with everybody counting on that, I wouldn't count on that right now. That's just an example of what happened with the Kalapana people, and it could expedite it, but I highly doubt it. So, as far as new leasing land or something like that, land lease, or
believe it when we see it.
Yeah, believe it when we see it, because if anything, I would start building your own and just going on your own.
Yeah, so we kind of it's hard to say what's going to happen with all his plans for relocations, but really. What we see as the most reliable path forward is to find your own path. I know it's harder, right? That no one's going to show up and be like, "Oh, here's the land that's yours." But you got to find your own piece of land, and then from there move forward and figure out whether you're going to put on a new kit house or whether there's something on there already. You gotta and then Ikaika's we're talking about the fair, right? The housing fair.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we've been kind of planning. I've been trying to brainstorm. So today, myself and Andrew, we were in the volcano area and all in that area, trying to see what kind of land is there for sale. And a lot of land up there is pretty cheap, like 13,000, 15,000 for a couple properties up there, 15,000. And trying to get information on where is the cheapest land for people like part of the who lost their properties and homes, give them some service for land up in the volcano area or someplace close. And we found some land up there, and we'll be doing that. But we're doing a fair. Still planning on our fair that we want to provide a fair for our community that Pu'uhonua wants to put up, and the fair would be bringing in these services as far as building, companies like HPM, Hansador, Argus, whoever wants to come and donate their service. And Drew, so and those services and bankers, loan leasers and loan lenders, and a bunch of services where we can help out the community in any way possible. And that's what we're trying to do here at the hub. We want to create these this beautiful fair. So, and we'll be having a meeting about it. So we'll let everybody know on the fair and when we can go. And we will be doing that as far as for our community.
For sure, So we know there's plenty of properties out there that are not, it seems like we're hearing people are getting frustrated, discouraged, finding it hard
To get back.
fit. Yeah, to like find exactly like the house, the property they
Yeah.
want. I know we all know it's tough, but and we hear about property values, property prices in certain areas going up, right? People are trying to charge more, and that makes it not so easy. Especially like you either have money from insurance or from FEMA, never both. And no matter what, it's not that much, and not enough to buy a new lot and to build a new house and everything else you got to do. So I mean, it's going to take some faith to really, know that after you put your first foot forward, there's going to be a spot to put your second foot forward later on. We're all here as a community to help each other, so we can figure out the next step later. But I'm kind of encouraging everybody. First step is to start finding that right spot, on your own without waiting for anyone else to come and drop it in your lap. As much as hard as that is to do when everything else is going on and trying to settle in a temporary situation or find a path forward, and it doesn't look like the numbers add up of how you get there from here. Yeah, but that's the first step, is having a place.
Yeah.
Right, and then go from there. So one step at a time, you guys.
All right. So with that said, hey, check me out tomorrow. I'll be on the boat, doing a live, seeing if the ocean entry and Pohiki is still there. Pohiki is standing strong. There's more sand and pebbles moving into the boat harbor, but it's still standing strong. I'll be doing that tomorrow, or my early morning tour. So stay updated. But do you have anything else, Phil?
No, I think that's it.
And we'll be getting some pictures from some Ken Boyer, and they were in the national park today with the media tour, so with Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. So we'll be letting everybody know what's going on up there. But when I was up there was no what you call that, no earthquakes. Yeah, and, so that's a good thing.
All right, guys, so that's our fast update for everybody, and just like to tell everybody, stay classy, Puna. Aloha.